Okay, we're going to watch Brandon's backstroke here. Brandon, as we start watching your backstroke, we'll make sure you check out the notes too. The different things that Lynetta or myself have seen, we think you can work on a little bit more to improve upon. Things that we're seeing that we think you're doing really, really well and we want you to continue doing. We think you're doing a fantastic job of practices, and we just can't wait to see how you end up with the end of the season because you really have done so good at working so hard in such a short period of time. We are just so excited to get to have you in our group this year. So as we go in here to your flip turn, we'll get ready to start over and just kind of go straight from there. Good streamline, but we'll get back to that. All right, Brandon. As we start our backstroke, you can see right here that your left hand is entering. You do a great job at entering with that pinky going down. That's exactly what we want to see all the time. The other thing we'd like to see you do is have just a little bit better shoulder roll. Get this shoulder down too. When your right thumb is coming up, that right shoulder comes up, but when that right shoulder is coming up, that left shoulder should be going down. So what we're kind of seeing here is you're a little flat in that water. So make sure we kind of roll a little bit more from side to side, but great job of hand entry. The other thing we like, and you can't see as well here because you got a lot of air here, so we're going to wait till we get closer, but we do like how you're catching. You're doing a good job of bending those elbows underwater. As we enter here with that right hand again, you can see that you got your pinky down, which means your thumb is up when you're entering. And you always want to exit the pool, thumb up, and you always want to enter the pool, pinky down. Okay, so thumb up, pinky in, and that's exactly what you're doing. So great job there. The other thing we like, Brandon, is we're seeing this is you got a pretty nice steady kick out there. You can just see that your legs are constantly moving, and Lynette likes to call that white water. You can see that right foot tends to have a little bit better kick than the left foot. The one thing we think you can do is you can kind of see here how your ankles aren't really flexed flat, right? So you want to try and point those ankles a little bit more so your feet come up a little bit higher. You don't want to keep those legs, those feet quite so bent, right? If you can flex your feet down a little bit more and get a little bit better kick with your feet that way, it's going to help you out. All right, so you've got a good kick, but if you just kind of point those toes a little bit better down, you're going to have a much better kick. Again, right here is a great view of that pinky entry. That's awesome, Brandon. The other thing we can kind of see here, you can see that your hips are down a little bit. So you're kind of in almost a seated position. You want to try and get those hips up just a little bit more. And one of the ways you can do that is just kind of letting that head fall back in a little bit more of a neutral position. Okay, so if you get your head back a little bit better, those hips are going to come up and you're going to be higher in that water. You always want to make sure that you're really high on top of that water. Right here is what we were kind of talking about earlier with your catch. You can see that you drop that elbow a little bit and your hand is pushing out and you're pointing this way. That's fantastic, Brandon. You've got a little bit of a shoulder roll, but we definitely can work more at getting that shoulder roll a little bit better. But that catch, so good. We really like that a lot, Brandon. You can kind of see that you're bouncing just a little bit. I think if you get your hips up, and that'll help keep those legs straighter, I think you're going to find that bounce is going to go away. So let's work on those hips. As we go in that turn, we are definitely way close to that wall. Like you're here and you're already starting that flip before your hand really finished that pull. There's kind of like a poem or whatever, rhyme, whatever you want to call. You want to make sure that when your hand comes to your hip, that's when you have to flip. All right, so if your hand's not to that hip yet, don't worry about rushing into that flip. Now as we go into your turn here, your legs are in the right position. Your hands are a little bit wide. You can see that they're wide here, and your palms are kind of facing up a little bit. We want to make sure that when we go into our turns, rewind this a little bit, and this is where you want to make sure those hands get to your hip, right? Because you can see you're starting to turn, your hand is not even close to your hip. But ideally, we want your hands right here at your hips. And then as you're getting ready to do your flip, you turn your palms towards the bottom of the pool, and you want to think about like throwing water at your face. So driving your hands towards your face so you get up into a much tighter streamline as you come off that wall. Okay? So work on getting those hands. Think about throwing water at your face. Now, as you push off the wall, we like how your feet are planted, but you kind of got them separated a little bit awkwardly, almost like a breaststroke type kick. Now we know one of the things you like is a breaststroke, right? But make sure those feet kind of stay together a little bit. This streamline, Brandon, and this head position is excellent. Absolutely excellent. We like how you're getting ready to push off the wall there. We like that streamline, and we definitely like your head position. As you push off the wall, you kind of see that you did that first kick almost immediately. You want to make sure that you hold your streamline for about 2 seconds off that wall before you start your kick. The fastest point you are in a race is going to be on the start. The second fastest point you are is on a race or on a turn. Once you actually start kicking, you start to slow down a little bit. So make sure you just kind of keep that a little bit better. Keep that streamline a little bit longer by waiting for about 2 seconds to do that kick. Okay? As we do start to do the kick, that's a really good dolphin kick, Brandon. I mean, that's a great dolphin kick. Looks like you did about 6. But the one thing we want to point out here is your face is above the water, and you can see you are still in a streamlined position. So you're not really starting that stroke yet. So you're kind of starting what we call the breakout stroke, just a little late. What we'd like to see you do is, gotta rewind a little bit. As we get closer to the top of the water here, all right, right now we should start seeing some flutter kick going on, and your bottom hand, okay, which is your right hand here, should start that first stroke right now, so that as your head breaks that surface, the right hand should be at your hip starting into the swim. So let's work on getting that breakout, okay? But really great job at dolphin kicking, man. That was awesome. Brandon, you don't have a lot. There's just a couple of things I think you can do a little bit better, and we're going to see a lot more improvement. But great job, Brandon, man. Keep it up.